welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings YouTube Atheist Community and Tiny Chat, whatever it was. It really wasn't that bad. The first few hours was, conversational. Mostly Logic Rolls the Dice Guy and then Das Spook, and philosophy kind of angle to it. Quite adequate. And the second couple hours were mostly about vloggerdom, or how to communicate with people, or how to do this thing, sort of kind of conversation, so I suppose. So no, it wasn't a bad night. So yeah, quite adequate. Whatever, it served its purpose. Yeah, I get tired, so I have to do something about that. But anyway, it's like the new computer screen is huge, so yeah, this was like the thank you video was sort of a response to the fact that somebody sent me this very nice big giant screen. So I should be able to do something really interesting, like foreground, background, or something. I don't know. It's just 2 feet across kind of thing. It's really quite good for my visual limitations. I'm liking it. But anyway. So yeah, so I should be doing something interesting. This is basically the computer I want to use just for editing, but I don't know. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do yet. I have a better computer for editing, and so I just have to get that running, blah blah blah. Well, anyway, and then I have to find work and whatever. So it's all kinds of different things I'm working on. But anyway. So, yeah, I'm just thinking about these different tools that are just, half done that I want to fix. So anyway, this is the tool page that's, linked on most of my videos. It just has these little indexes of the videos, which is, kind of a nice way to go through things. So, I guess I'll just kind of point out Arena Web did a video. That's the newest edition thing, Yay, it's been a long time. She was sort of dressing down, but she was just, lovely as always, and such, and, just kind of lamenting the whole, life as a Ukrainian. I shouldn't laugh. It's one of those situations where there's no real win, at all. The Ukraine independent isn't ready to be independent, and now it's just being ping-ponged between the self-interest of the Europeans versus the self-interest of the Americans, and it's just this insidiously crappy game people play with other people's lives. But anyway, it's no point in me expressing my opinion about, I'm not a big fan of borders anyway, so I kind of want things to become more collectivized into bigger and bigger things, and then have the bigger and bigger things merge into something called the human race, because all this diversity shit is going to kill us in the end. We really got to get past that. The future just isn't going to sustain a civilization that doesn't have some mechanism to disengage us from having nothing to do but kill each other as a last resort, or first resort, or only resort. Which brings me sort of to a Thunderfoot video, where he just did one of these, character assassination instead of really talking about the subject. So, this Stefan Molyneux guy is basically this anarchist kind of crap, and it's basically a bullshit philosophy, and yes, he presents it in a kind of cultish way, but again, that's not a counter-argument. Whether something's a cult or not doesn't make it right or wrong, and, whether, people, Thunderfoot, in the very way he talks about the cult, he behaves like a cultist. The very propagandist, the very replaying the same clips over and over again. He uses the same sort of psychological gimmickry, in making his point. The same kind of playing with images and playing with redundancies, and, so you could just bust him on the same sort of standards he busts other people on, and so that, it just makes it for such bullshit. But it's just this idea that, there's a point in the video where Thunderfoot essentially defends democracy as saying that we somehow have, we have a representative democracy, which we don't. My complaint for the Stefan Molyneux types isn't the fact that they hate the government, is that they're not willing to fix it. Not willing to recognize that that's the only game in town. Whether you call the mob the government or whether you call the government, there's going to be one. And yeah, I don't think there's any point in going back to mob rule. I mean, real mobs. I mean, just gang warfare versus government warfare. The idea is to fix it. And the real problem with our democracy is that we don't have representation, and Thunderfoot's just kind of full of shit saying, yeah, we somehow have a vote. I don't have a vote. I can vote no, but I can't vote no enough. There's more people to vote no for than I'm given the right to vote no for. I'm only given one no vote. I'm not given a no vote for the other asshole too. I don't want either one of these assholes. Alright? They give me a choice for president. I don't want either one of these fuckers to win. And certainly for Congress, I'm not given any representation. I've never had a representative in Congress. I never had a guy I voted for. I voted no, and he still was my congressman. What kind of bullshit system is that? I vote no, and he's called my congressman? No, that doesn't sound like representation to me. So, I mean, obviously we do this geographic thing, and we do this winner-take-all thing, where we basically steal representation from people. And so, if Thunderfoot wants to make a valuable video, why doesn't he make a video about how to fix democracy, instead of claiming that people who say democracy doesn't work are wrong? They're not wrong to say it doesn't work. They're not wrong to say, I don't have any rights. I certainly don't have a right even to make an argument in Congress, let alone to throw a veto into Congress when they're going to do something that's going to compromise my rights. And obviously our Constitution doesn't mean shit because we have a bunch of lying creeps as judges. So, I mean, this system is really, really bad. And you can't complain about people finding it obnoxious that this is what they're given. The fact that they resort to some fanatical, loopy idea that let's go back to, you know, whatever, let's go back 10,000 years and just give it all to the rich, or give it all to the guy with the biggest sword, that doesn't make any sense either. So, I mean, obviously there's no sense in saying, well, let's do anarchy, because we know what anarchy leads to, which is the power consolidation. And then you're again owned by a gang. You know, you'd have to pick which gang is going to own you. Who wants to live like that? I'm not voting for that either. So instead of getting to the real issue again, it's just this bullshit, superficial commentary. You know, why don't you just talk about his bald head, Thunderfoot? I mean, again, it's just as meaningless to talk about whether he has a style that is manipulative. It's just too fucking irrelevant. You have a style that's manipulative. It just isn't relevant. The relevant issue is whether you're saying something meaningful and accurate. And when you defend our democracies in the world, you're not saying something accurate, because they're indefensible piles of shit. Okay, they're not representative democracies. They are majority dictatorships. And it's not even majority dictatorships. It's all based on geography and segregation. So you can have a substantial, not a majority per se, but certainly in a sense you can have. You could literally, with our democracy, have a majority, as in the Bush election for president, where the general vote, he loses by 2 million votes, and yet he's still president of the United States because of a gimmick, the Electoral College. So a gimmick makes him president of the United States, even though he lost the majority vote. I mean, that in itself, I shouldn't even have to say anything more than just point out that election and say, why should at the point of a gun have to take orders from a system too stupid to figure out you lost the election? Anyway, yeah, moving on. Let's see if there's somebody else relevant. I made videos, of course, but, you know, Gray Guy made it, one of my, you know, it's a remake of, you know, my rhetoric crap, and that was a really, let's see what the title was, that was a good video. Category valuable, yeah, so, it was interesting graphics in the background, interesting, well, you know, he always does something interesting, it was just interesting, you know, combination. So I hope that won't be underappreciated. The interview between me and the conversation between me and Mr. Natural was posted. That's good. Some asshole posted about 49 comments, you know, chunks of comments. So I will respond to them, but it's just an obnoxious. I mean, people are just so fucking stupid. So the subject's about education, being smart, having knowledge of stuff, and yet he doesn't even display the knowledge to know. It's grotesquely obnoxious to post 10 comments on a video. And to post comments as you're listening, which is even more obnoxious. Like, you can't listen to the video first and then make your commentary. Just, you know, goddamn. And now he's going to talk about what is stupid in the world and why the stupid is stupid. And yet he's too stupid to figure out it's obnoxious to post 10 comments on one video. Yeah, you're just shit. So anyway, and it's just, but it's the same nitpicky bullshit, right? Not on the subject. Just bring up some kind of stupid thing like you're suggesting, well, let's go to war to save whatever kitten kind from abuse in, you know, anti-kittenia. And you know, some assholes say, well, what about people who their feet will get wet and their boots will get wet and they won't have any place to dry their boot? And you know, you're just like, what are you fucking talking about? We're talking about going to war, and you're talking about, you know, the 13 people who are going to have foot problems. I mean, you're wasting my fucking time, asshole. What I want as a counter argument is something real, not some kind of bullshit. Yeah, okay, so a few people die, big deal. We're saving about 900 zillion over here, so your little wimpy bullshit doesn't mean anything. You know, and so it's just so obnoxious. The nitpickers, the naysayers, they just show up to say any idea is a bad idea. They're just so Nietzsche-esque in the sense that it's so easy to tear something down, and you know, it takes some kind of work, you know, to build something, and that this duality, this is the biggest dualism that exists in our reality. Is the fact that it's too easy to tear down and too hard to build. And that conflict that exists is a real problem, because these little wimpy assholes with their nothing just show up with their, you know, let's just crash into it the right way and knock it down. And it's just, it has nothing to do with demonstrating anything like a real failure. It's just, you know, it's the worst kind of propaganda, this easy little naysay thing of distorting perspective and keep taking your eyes off the prize and keep pretending that if you were to accomplish the goal, that your little nitpickery doesn't mean anything. You know, it's always taking it out of the context, like this is a solution. You know, it's almost like the you know, when people talk about vaccines or something and they start, whoa, what about mercury, and what about this, and what about that? And it's just like, yeah, just totally take your eyes off the function. Take your eyes off the fact that you have gained immunity from a horrible disease that, you know, will cause suffering and death to potentially hundreds of thousands in your defense of 12. I mean, it's just so stupid. Ugh, so short-sighted, so no-sighted. Well, anyway, enough of that. So what else? Yeah, the Logic Rolls the Dice guy has made about 7 zillion videos, so all of his show up over here. So there's a ton of them. Yeah, it's been making a lot of videos. But anyway, it's good. I haven't watched all of them myself, and you know, he keeps pushing the point that, you know, there he is, that you know, there's these simple rules to how you can rationally discuss reality, and you have to obey these certain rules, and it's not that demanding. I mean, there's properties and categories. You have to defend why you put something in a category, you know, with some sort of evidence and weight and all of that kind of stuff. This isn't that complicated, and you can't just, you know, if you're going to have a premise that is basically every story that any asshole can just make up in their imagination is a valid opinion, well, you might as well just say fuck it to logic. Anyway, something like that. I didn't put that in very eloquently, but you should be able to get the drift of it. Hothla Day did a little bit of a, I don't know what the hell it's, I guess it's a physics video, but I guess I shouldn't even reference it because it's an hour of, you know, not too fucking good. And not too fucking much. I mean, it's just this speculation about whether the fundament of the universe is made out of something discrete, simple rules, or something else, or what those simple things, and you know, I don't know if there's any point in getting that granular. You don't have to get that granular to get the idea that, okay, yes, it's mechanical, yes, it's made out of stuff that does certain specific stuff, and you don't really have to get, you don't have to get that finer resolution. Although finer resolution is nice. You know, bigger is better. Anyway, quite nice. So, and then there's on to CantoHa, just doing the same old crap. I mean, I do want to do a video based on one of his comments, because it's just the typical comment, you know, the typical glib, oh, you're just bringing up that consequence shit again, you know, that, oh yeah, somebody's going to get harmed, or there's some problem, or some suffering, well, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's so pedestrian, you know, which is just another way of saying that, you know, you haven't transcended reality by coming up with a fantasy fable that gives you reason to think you're accomplishing something with your silly ambitions and your silly egomaniacal bibble-babble. And that's all he is. You know, he's trying way too hard, you know, way too desperate to make his life mean something by just basically saying, I'm going to be better than everybody else. Yeah, well, that's not an accomplishment on Planet of the Fucktard. So, good luck with that. And he's not going to be better in some kind of real way, just better in some sort of whatever his 10 bullet points of Mega Man things are. You know, but you can see him desperately struggling to keep his little 10 points of Mega Man standard. You can just see the ego just hungry for preservation of some notion that his life means something, when of course he's just another asshole, you know, making a mess. But he even says one comment where he actually says something like, I am fully invested in it, or something like that, and you know, not even realizing he just had a kid, and he still doesn't get the idea that, you know, he's not just investing himself in it, he's investing other people's welfare in his crap. And that's why it's significant. That's why what you pay for it. That's why consequences are important. It's because consequences affect other people. But these solipsists, these self-obsessed, I make my own reality crapheads, you know, have invested themselves in a delusion that the only thing they have to account for is whether they are comfortable. You know, whether their Mega Man is surviving. Am I winning? That's at the extent. What's in it for me? He actually said those words too. What's in it for me? You know, so any discussion of philosophy has to have some sort of personal payoff for him, or else, yeah, that's not philosophy of any value. So obviously consequentialism wouldn't have any meaning to him, because what's in that doesn't have anything. He doesn't benefit from people's happiness or sadness. That doesn't have anything to do with his comfort. So, you know, it's just void of all recognizable notions of character, or, you know, just the ABCs, the 2 plus 2s of existence, is this realization that, yeah, this isn't something you're doing just for you, or just to you. That there is an impact. Your life impacts the existences of other sentient beings, and that means something. Wow. I mean, to think that first step is something complicated for these people, it's just plain scary. So anyway, what else? I don't know if there's anything else worth mentioning. Matt posted a couple of videos of whatever these whatever crazy fucks are that talk about crazy existential bibble-babbly crap. So yeah, I didn't bother. I've not bothered watching anymore. Rizzle Fizzle. Yeah, he's kind of fizzled. I haven't paid any attention either, so yeah, it's not making as many videos, so, and I wouldn't be watching them anyway because he's kind of lost his, he doesn't really have a direction or a point. I mean, the the anti-feminism thing, or whatever you want to call that, is that's just a display of bigotry and ignorance. So, not much to say. Yeah. So where else is there? I think they were kind of out of stuff. So yeah, I got some things I want to work on this programming level, and come up with some other tools or whatnot, or some other. I want to do something with this. I mean, there's stuff to do. I noticed that the comments posted on YouTube on videos. So there's the old Do Not God website. Probably could use some reworking. The art page still works. Oh yeah, it's still there. Okay, well at least it still works. Anyway, I want to say, yeah. So the Vlogger Dome site, I have to work some on that. It's so tiny on this big screen, so yeah, I want to work on the idea that depending on your screen resolution, it'll expand to be more of a website. But anyway, so episode 3 should be posted, soon, a couple of days, and we'll move on to episode 4. Is going to be The Right to Die, so that should be interesting. Still looking for somebody to argue with, or have a conversation with. I mean, I'll see what we have to resort to. Yeah. So there was something, some other tool-related thing I wanted to get to. Yeah, the comment thing. I was just noticing that that if you view just the comment page of a video, that you can still grab text out of that. It's not in an iframe. So I mean, I was thinking of making a tool that goes through the comment sections of different videos, and kind of puts the comments of different posters who comment on videos a lot and puts them all together, so you can read the comment of different people and realize who the fuck they are and how whack they are and all that kind of crap. Because YouTube doesn't have any of those kind of features anymore, which is quite annoying. I mean, all this stuff should be publicly accessible on somebody's page. You should be able to see what they're saying and who they're thumbing up and who they're thumbing down, and all. I mean, all this shit should be public. It's just really irritating, that this universe that we're given by YouTube doesn't have anything to do with consistency. It has to do with between what you're seeing on the internet and what I'm seeing. I mean, the universe, the internet they're showing me is different than the internet they're showing you, and that I have to do a video on that subject. Is the whole idea that Google doesn't even index the comments on YouTube videos. I mean, it's indexing blog posts, it's indexing other content on the internet, and it doesn't index comments on YouTube videos. Why doesn't it do that? I mean, there's got to be a reason, right? Why is it to its self-interest not to index comments on YouTube videos? Seems very strange. But anyway, so yeah, and somebody sent me a whole bunch of links. Somebody from, for years have been sending me links to stuff. Sometimes not formatted very well. I mean, if you're going to send them an email, you can't have. If you're going to have a link in an email, just for general knowledge, you can't put like dots in front of the where the HTML/da stuff starts. You can't have words next to that or a colon or anything. You have to have a space between the link. So always have a space before the link and a space after the link, or it won't be a link. And many email programs will fuck it up and just it won't be recognized as an active link, and it won't be readable either, because they abbreviate them sometimes. So depending on the email program. So I'm just saying it's always better just to just make sure you don't have just spaces. Always put spaces in front of and after links when you're posting them. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, just throw it in there. Yeah, Patreon page. Yuck. Anyway, yeah, this was just a thing on the, you know, somebody critiquing the Lesage photon theory thing from the 1700s that I have reclamated, I think, quite adequately. And, yeah, I really haven't heard any solid critiques. I mean, it's, you know, there's absolutely no good reason, you know, to reject this concept. And like I said, this concept can be used for magnetism, which is really important. I mean, it ties the two things together quite well. Something Einstein's bent space is not going to do. So anyway, yeah, lots of good reasons. Well, I have to make these arguments, but you know, people are just obsessed with your credentials rather than what you're saying. You know, and they don't have the. Look, the bottom line is people don't have the knowledge to be able to critique all of this stuff because it takes. You know, look, this is from 1748. I mean, 1748. Just amazing that, you know, people had the imagination to come up with something like that in 1748. It's just very good. You know, but yet people just don't know all this, the details that have to go into this stuff, and so then they just go with somebody they trust, you know. So they trust the talking heads on the subject, the Fymans or the whatever the Degrassi Tyson clowns and such, because I guess they're personable or some other kind of crap, you know. And so it just becomes an argument. I don't know what this. There's so many things about Google. It's just such a pain in the ass. But what happens here? I mean, why does this happen in some videos where the same post ends up on every video? And, I mean, every comment. And what the fuck is that? I mean, it's just so annoying. But anyway, you know, there's so many things to complain about. So little time to do it. Wow, I don't have anything in my belly thing. That seems kind of fucked up. Well, it's an older video. Okay. It's an older video, too. Well, I know. It should update, though, shouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know. That's very weird. My little belly's empty. Seems suspicious. Anyway. What else? Anything else to add here? I was watching this. Faster Than Speed of Light, hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, and it's, you know, I'm 39 minutes into it, and it's just been nothing but tedious. You know, just horrible. See, look, it has all these link posts. I don't know what that means. Why are they posting the same link over and over and over again to the video you're watching? It's a link to the video I'm watching. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway. What else can I complain about? Arguing with idiots. That's interesting. I don't know what that was. Arguing with idiots. It's probably Logic Roll the Dice guy. Yeah. It is. Anyway. Then yeah, I think we're done. Probably forgot something important, but I just can't remember it, so I won't keep lingering trying to remember. I don't think I will. Yeah, I don't think I will. So anyway, till next time, and such, and so forth and whatnot. Pretty much.